सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सागन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you all for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. My humble obeisances to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today we will be hearing a lecture from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And our prayer and our hope is that we will listen attentively and try to understand the meaning, the purport of what Srila Prabhupada is explaining to us, and thereafter have a nice discussion based on our understanding. So I will play Srila Prabhupada's very first class on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Canto 1, Chapter 1, verse number 1. And this is Los Angeles, April 24th, 1973. Now, Srila Prabhupada gave lectures on this very same verse several times. Sorry, I've gone to the wrong one. Let me see. Yes, 111. This is it. It is August 6th, 1971. And this particular lecture is just 27 minutes long. So we will continue with the next lecture on this very same verse for maybe another 10-15 minutes, and then open up for discussion for the last 15 minutes. Thank you all very much. Please listen attentively. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 जन्माद्यस्य गतो अन्नयादितरतश्चार्थी सविद्रस्सरात् तेने ब्रह्मरिदः जयादिकवै muhyanti jasuraya tejavari midahang jatha vinimayo jattati sadgam risha samna sina sada nirasakukam sattang param dhimahi. So, there his offering is obeisance. So, Sattam Param, the absolute, supreme truth, not to the relative truth. Everyone has to offer obeisances to somebody. Somebody in our practical life, at least we have to offer obeisances to the police constable. When you go on the street, as soon as they stop, so you have to obey. So how you can avoid obeying? They are saying that we don't believe in God. God is there. I am God. But why you are offering obeisances even to the small constable? That means you have to offer your obeisances to somebody. That is your position. But we are offering obeisances to the relative truth. Relative truth means, that has been explained here, where Tijobari midang jatha vinimayo jatta tisabdam misa. We are offering obeisances to a temporary manifestation of Teja Bari Nidam Vinimayo. Teja means fire, Bari means water, and Mrit means earth. So, you take earth, mix with water, and put it into fire, then grind it, so it becomes mortar and the brick, and you prepare a very big skyscraper and offer obeisances there. Such a big house. Tishabdam Mrisha. But there is another place, Dhamna Sena Nirastak Hukam. We are offering here obeisances to the brick, stone, iron. Just like in your country especially, in all Western countries, there are so many statues. The same thing, Teja Bari Nidang Adunimayo. But when we install deity, actually the form, eternal form of Krishna, nobody offers obeisance. They will go to offer obeisances to the dead, just like in British Museum. They are standing in queue to offer obeisances to a dead body. It has no value, but they are wasting time there. But here, if they are invited, they are worshipping idols. Why should I go Why should I go there? This is called illusion. They are actually doing that. Obeisance. But not to the Supreme Personality of Lord. Vasudev says that I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Absolute Truth. Sattam Param Dhimai. There is no more truth beyond that. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Matta Paratanam Nanyad Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. Matta, beyond me, there is no more superior power. Matta Paratanam Na Anyat. So Vasudev is offering his obeisances to the person above whom there is nobody. God means controller, I have several times explained. But here in our experience we see that one controller is controlled by another controller. Nobody is absolute control. Therefore nobody is absolute truth. But there must be the absolute truth. Janmadasya jata, as it has begun, the source of all emanation. Now what is that source of emanation? What is the nature? One has to accept with the cause and effect, as we have got experience. In everything there is a cause and the effect. So, the supreme cause means who has no more cause. Sarva karana karana. I am caused by my father. My father is caused by his father. His father gone making research. Who is the ultimate father? When you come, there must be some ultimate father. Just like I have my father has got father, his father, as you can see, up to 2-3 generations upwards, and beyond that we cannot see. That does not mean that the great-grandfather has no father. There must have been some father. Is it very unreasonable? Everyone can understand. Although I cannot see with my limited potency, but with my knowledge, reasonable knowledge, I can understand that either he may be great-grandfather or above that, he must have some father. The Lord Brahma is called, and therefore, Pitamaha, grandfather, because he is the original father within this universe. He is the first created being, and he begot so many children. So all the living entities, they are born of Brahma. He is called Srishtikarta. Srishtikarta means the creator of this universe. And there are innumerable universes. In each universe there is one Brahma, and all these Brahmas are also created by Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Therefore Vishnu Tattva is the absolute truth. Now it is explained in the part. Read. Yes.
Sri Vyasdeva asserts herein that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portion or portion of the portion. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha. As Brahma, the original living being...
Jiva Goswami has got 6 sandarbhas. Thesis. Bhagavad Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, Tattva Sandarbha, Vriti Sandarbha, like that. So, these books are, I don't think it is published in English. So these Sandarbhas are so philosophically discussed that throughout the whole world there is not a single philosopher who can defy this Jiva Goswami's 6 Sandarbhas. Our this Gaudiya Sampradaya, we belong to Gaudiya Sampradaya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the disciple succession of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have got immense literature to understand God. One who wants to understand God through philosophy, science, argument, logic, so to supply them material, we have got immense literature, Vedic literature. So one of them is mentioned here, Krishna Sandarbha. What is Krishna? Go on.
And Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In the Samaveda Upanishad, it is also stated the Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki.
Some of the foolish scholars, they say that Krishna was a powerful, what is called, aborigine. And the Krishna worshippers have taken him because he was very powerful. Krishna is always powerful, but they have misinterpreted him this way. Krishna is mentioned in the Vedas, just like these books, Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is only description of Krishna, and this book was composed by Lord Brahma. Nobody knows how many millions of years ago this book was composed. But we understand that it was composed by Brahma on the authority of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our process is to take knowledge from the authority. We don't bother whether Brahma Samhita was actually written by Brahma or not. The so-called scholars, anthropologists, and what is called archaeologists, they may go on talking. But we have got a very nice process to receive knowledge through parampara system, Vedic succession, disciple succession. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling in the southern part of India, South India, Adikesha Mandir, there was a temple, still a temple is there. He found out this Brahma Samhita in handwritten. Formerly there was no printing press. So, any important Vedic literature was being copied. Suppose you have got some copies, I want it, so I borrow from you the book and I copy in my handwriting, or I engage somebody who has got good handwriting. In this way, in Vrindavan, still there are so many handwritten literature. They have opened one association, society. They are collecting all this handwritten literature. So this handwritten literature, Brahma Samhita, was collected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from a temple in South India. And he delivered to his immediate disciples. So this is Brahma Samhita, written by Brahma. It is the summary of the Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavad. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives reference of Srimad Bhagavatam with Brahma Samhita. That means Srimad Bhagavatam also is eternal. They are not man-made, manufactured books. The Vedic literature means, as it is stated in this verse, Tini Brahma Rida. Brahma means Vedic literature, Sabda Brahma. So, he distributed the Vasudeva, original person, absolute truth. He transferred this Vedic knowledge, Tene Brahma Rida. Brahma was alone. He could not see Krishna eye to eye. But Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Riddesha Arjuna Tishtati. Krishna is everyone's heart. So he taught him from within. Krishna's name is Chaitya Guru. Guru, spiritual master from within. So Krishna is trying to help us from within, and he manifests again externally also as spiritual master, directly teaching. So from within, from without, he is trying to help us. Krishna is so kind. From within and without. Teni Brahma Rida Adhikara. So this Brahma Samhita was written by Lord Brahma, and in Brahma Samhita the name of Krishna is there. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Beginning. That is 5th chapter. There are 100 chapters. Only 5th chapter is available. So, in the beginning of that 5th chapter, Brahma says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. So how this rascal can conclude that Krishna was in some years, some 100 or 500 years ago, there was a bhil boy, very powerful. So in this way, these rascal so-called scholars, they are misleading us. Therefore we call them simply rascals. They do not know what is the truth. And still, they write books, they write commentaries, unauthorized and mislead public. This is going on. Krishna is not manufactured. In the Brahma Samhita there is complete description of Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadidadi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam, the cause of all causes. Janmadya Sujata, Vedanta Sutra says the absolute truth is that which is the original cause. Original cause. The scientists, they are trying to find out the original cause of creation. But they are creating their own imagination. There was a chunk and it burst out and then planets came out. And where from this chunk came? Nonsense. So this is that. So if you actually want knowledge, then you have to take knowledge by this disciplic succession. Because you cannot speculate. By speculation, you can never arrive to the absolute truth. That is not possible. अथापि ते देव पदाम्बुजद्दम प्रसाद लेशान गृहीत एवं जानाति तत्तं भगवत महिम्न न जानने कोपि चिरंग विचिन. Chirang vichina. Chirang means perpetually. You can speculate, but you cannot understand what is God. That is not possible. You have to know God from a person who knows God, or God personally, just like Krishna. Krishna's name is mentioned in the Bhagavad Brahma Samhita. That means Brahma knew Krishna. That means Krishna was before Brahma's birth. Original. Aham eva asam agre. Before creation, Krishna was. Not that Krishna is a product of this material creation. Just like we are products of this material creation. This body, everyone knows, it is a product of material creation. My father and mother created this body. My father and mother's body also created by somebody. Krishna's body is not like that. Krishna's body is beyond creation. Aham eva asam agre. Because there was no creation, and Krishna was existing before creation, then how you can say Krishna's body is material? That is not possible. When there was no material creation, Krishna was there. Therefore his body is not. Therefore Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma ajopi san abhyatma. I am unborn, abhyatma, eternal body, is still I take birth. Bhutanam iswarupi san. I am the Lord of everyone. Still I appear. These things have to be understood. And if we can understand Krishna, Janma Karma me Dibbam. These are all transcendental knowledge, they are not ordinary knowledge. Dibbam, transcendental. His appearance, his disappearance, his work, his activity, his pastime, they are all transcendental. So anyone who can try to understand Krishna in his transcendental position beyond creation, even Shankaracharya, the impersonalist, he says Narayana para abhaktyat. Narayana is beyond this material creation. Abhakta means there is a total stock of material elements beyond this universe. There are so many things to be learned. This universe you see just like a ball, and this ball is covered by layers of water, fire, air, earth, like this, circulating. And each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous layer. In this way the universe is covered. And beyond that covering, there is another sky. We are prisoned here within this universe. we are thinking that we are very free to move in the sky with what is called Sputniks. But you cannot go beyond your limitation. That is not possible. They are going to the moon planet, again coming back. You see? That is our conditional life. That you are conditioned, packed up under certain regulation. If you violate, then you are punished. You cannot violate. You have to remain within the conditions of material nature. You cannot violate. If you want to violate the laws of nature, then you will create another difficulty. Another difficulty.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sumadi Sarvadi Asya Yato Anvayat Itarata Chateshu Abhijna Swarat Tene Brahma Vida Adi Kovoye Vojanti Yad Suraya Tejo Vari Vedam Vinimayo Yatra Visargo Mrisha Damna Vena Sada Nirasta Sokam Satyam Param Dhimahi Janmadya Sajito Navayaditarattas. Not at a time. Practice. Janmari Asya Yato Anvaya Itaratas Chateshu Atigya Swarat Tene Brahma Vida Adi Kovaye Muyanti Suraya Tejo Vari Vedam Jata Vinimayo Yatra Visargo Mrisha Dhamna Vena Soda Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Janmadi Asya Yato Anvaya Janmadi Asya Sudhanirasthakurkam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dhamna Sena Sadanirasthakurkam Satyam Param Dhimahi Janmadatyatito Anayadikratastatisu Abhijnasvarat Janmadiyashido Anayadikratastatisu Abhijnasvarat Satisagomidana Kavaye Nidana Yatha Binimayo Jatrati Saddam Vija Dhamnasi Dhamnasena Sada Yastapaho Dhamna Fully paraphernalia. Lord, Namaha, offering my obeisances, Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead, Vasudevaya, unto Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, O Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord, Janmadi, creation, sustenance, and destruction. Asya, of the manifested universes. Jataha, from whom? Anvayat, directly. Itarata, indirectly. Cha, and. Arteshu, purposes. Abhigya, fully cognizant. Swarat, fully independent. Tene, imparted. Brahma, the Vedic knowledge. Srila, consciousness of the heart. Yaha, one who. Adi Kavaye, unto the original created being. Muhyanti, our illusions. Yat, about whom? Suraya, great sages and demigods. Teja, fire. Vari, water. Mridam, earth. Jata, as much as. Vinimaya, action and reaction. Yatra, whereupon. Three sarga, three modes of creation. Creative faculties. Amrisha, almost factual. Dhamna, along with all transcendental paraphernalia. Svena, self-sufficiently. Sada, always. Nirasta, negation by absence. Kuhakam, illusion. Satyam, truth. Param, absolute. Dhimahi, I do meditate upon. Translation. I offer my obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, who is the supreme, all-pervading personality of Godhead. I meditate upon him, the transcendent reality, who is the primeval cause of all causes, from whom all manifested universes arise, in whom they dwell, and by whom they are destroyed. I meditate upon that eternally effulgent Lord, who is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and yet is beyond them. It is he only who first imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahma, the first created being. Through him this world, like a mirage, appears real even to great sages and demigods. Because of him, the material universes, created by the three modes of nature, appear to be factual, although they are unreal. I meditate therefore upon him, the absolute truth, who is eternally existent in his transcendental abode, and who is forever free of illusion.
Vasudev is offering his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Vasudeva. Vasudeva means the son of Vasudeva. Even the leader of the impersonalists, namely Shankaracharya, he has accepted that the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. people may not misunderstand. Just like we give identification by giving the name of father, mother. Similarly, Krishna's identification is that he is son of Vasudeva or son of Nanda Maharaj, friend of Siddham Sudham, lover of Radharani. In so many ways, he has got hundreds and thousands of names. So, people who protest that God cannot have any name, they say that God cannot have any name. Yes, we agree to that. God cannot have any name, or God has so many names, how he will address him? But the Shastra says that he has got many names, but the chief name is Krishna. In the Atharva Veda it is said, Krishna is the son of Devaki Vasudeva. Those who are very much strict to understand everything on the evidence of Veda, Srila Jiva Goswami has given them quotation from Veda. In the Vedas, Krishna's name is there, his father's name is there, like that.
So dear devotees, thank you all for listening so patiently to Srila Prabhupada's lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 1. We heard two different classes on that same verse, and we will now open up for questions, comments, realizations, sharing. And if you would kindly put on your cameras so we can all see each other, that would be great. If for some reason you're unable to directly participate, you're welcome to write up your input on the chat, and I will be happy to read it out to all the rest. So while we are waiting for devotees to mull over, meditate what they want to share, I will just open up the discussion by sharing with you that several points struck me as very, very important and explained so clearly by Prabhupada that everyone understands that I have a father, his father has, my father has a father, his father had a father, his father had a father, and so on. So it is only common sense to understand that there is a one supreme father for all of us. I thought that was pretty neat, the way Srila Prabhupada explained that so clearly that even a 5-year-old can understand. So that was important for me. Shilpesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Prabhupada.
Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for your input, Shilpesh Prabhu, and please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Gurudev.
Yeah, what struck me was when Prabhupada said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu founded Brahma Samhita in written form, we have to accept it bona fide because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. You know, like he said, there's historians or academics will say, oh, this is only 500 years old, or this is 1,000 years old. We don't know who it's written by, and so forth. But the fact that through the parampara, we have absolute, truth and knowledge about where these scriptures come from. Like from the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says it's eternal. It's from the beginning. So yeah, same as the Bhagavad Gita. So it's very nice the way Prabhupada kind of explains why we can accept these scriptures as bona fide, rather than what academics will say, oh, it's only 5,000 years old, or so forth.
Right, because Lord Chaitanya himself, when touring South India, he went and visited that temple and he found a copy and he brought it back. And he asked that they copy it when he came back to Vrindavan. Yeah, this is authentic scriptures because Lord himself found it and brought it back to be copied. So true. Thank you. Yes, Namrata, please go ahead.
Hi, Bol. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Gurudev.
Please accept mine. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev.
Actually, Silpesh Prabhu told a very nice point, which was in my mind too. And just for moving ahead with that, I think when he said that you should be following, doesn't matter that who has written it. You don't get into that. If once it is bona fide, when you know it is bona fide, just follow that. We are like sometimes in the logical base, we'll waste a lot of time going back. Oh, who has written this? Who is this? Who is this? But he has given a very nice proof system that it is bona fide. So you just have to follow it. You don't have to do the logical work after that. So that is one point which I really liked. And then he mentioned one thing which has really attracted me towards Gaudiya Sampradaya, that is the literature of Gaudiya Sampradaya. The literature is very vast, and I think your lifetime can go in this. In fact, your so many lifetime can go in this. So you just read it, you just relish it, and the more you will read it, the more it will come to you. The scriptures will reveal yourself to you. So that is what I have observed. So one thing is really attracting me to Gaudiya Sampradaya is the literature. Yes, thank you. That is the mercy of Prabhupada, that he has carried forward all that. He has written, he has converted all those commentaries for us. So really, really grateful to him, because
Yes.
he has almost like spoon-feeded us, spoon-feeded. So
Yes.
we are grateful for that.
Yes, we are very blessed because of Prabhupada's mercy. So true, because some of the subject matter is so esoteric and so difficult to understand. And of course, Sanskrit language, how many people even know how to read or understand Sanskrit language? So Prabhupada took on this monumental task of translating everything, and he did it in such a way that we people with our little Kali brains can understand somewhat. Otherwise, even this would have been impossible but for Prabhupada's mercy. So well said, Namrata. Really well said. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And even all the Goswami's writings, they are based on the Shikshashtakam given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya left only 8 verses, the Shikshashtakam prayers. And all the Goswami's writings are based on the Shikshashtakam. They come from the foundation of Shikshashtakam. So they have made the teachings of Mahaprabhu, elaborated on it, explained it, and given to us in so many different literatures, so many different books. They have expanded on that. That they have taken Mahaprabhu's mercy and then just distributed it widely to all the people of the world. Nice point.
Yes, this is so wonderful. Just the 10 verses, and out of the 10 verses, their literature is expanded. So this is the wonders of Mahaprabhu. So bowing down to him as well. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Shikshashtakam prayers ki jai. Actually, Lord Chaitanya wrote another thing. He had written something else. But because I don't remember who it was, he presented that subject matter and that person became very morose. He says, oh, I've also written on this. So he said, oh,
His
this is
friend.
making me very morose. I will throw this in the river. And he threw his own book into the river just to make that other person happy. I don't remember the details of that though.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember?
Even I couldn't recollect the name, but yes, he was his co-mate, and he was an intellectual person as well. He was a scholar as well. But seeing the work of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was little down that when you have written such a wonderful work, who will see mine? I mean, nobody will look at mine. So with compassion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he threw away all his work done in the Ganges. So uh, he said that it's okay for me now. Let people remember you.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So therefore, we are left with only the Shikshashtakam verses, which is really the complete description of our spiritual life, starting from Adav Shraddha to end Krishna Prem. You know, all of it is described in those 8 verses. The process, the procedure, the stages, the behaviors, the level of advancement, everything is there in Shikshashtakam. Everything. So it is a truly wonderful work that Mahaprabhu has given us. Just studying the Shikshashtakam prayers, that's very, very deep.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm just floating on the surface. When will I give a little dive in this?
Right, right. We are just, scratching the surface of these great, vast literatures. It's not so easy to understand this very deep
Yeah,
subject matters. And the Sat Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami, they're also very deep subject matter. And Prabhupada mentions that they're not even in English, they're in Sanskrit. So right here in Mayapur, there is a scholar. He has done his PhD in the Sat Sandarbhas. Can you imagine? From Banaras Hindu University. His name is Venugopal Das, and he heads up the ISKCON Daivi Varnashram department. And because he's so scholarly, when he gives the class, it is so brilliant, it is so masterful because he knows the Shastras inside out. And it is like, wow, just really amazing grasp and explanation of the scriptures because of his understanding. Thank you, Shilpesh Prabhu, for coming on the call. We're just happy to have you, even if it's a short time. Anybody else would like to say anything? Let me check the chat if there's any questions. Okay, we don't see any questions there. Anybody else would like to say anything or have any questions or comments to make? You're welcome to do so. We have Revati, we have Swaha, we have Balaji Prabhu, Srimati, we have Alka Mataji, we have Scarlett, and we have Namrata. We cannot hear you, Alka. You're on mute. If you're saying something, you'll have to unmute first.
Yeah, now you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj. I'm really agree with Namrata.
Please accept mine.
I'm really agree with Namrata Mataji. There is so many literature and we don't have might be not time or we're not willing to read this all things together. And yesterday I was just reading about Giriraj Swami that Prabhupada has guide him to or give him order or tell him to write so many books like seeding. Which one is that? It's like many moons and seeding, watering the
Watering
seed
the
and
seed.
the
Watering
seed. That's why. So I think we need many more life to read all bona fide scripture. I don't think this life is enough. So I think I have to pray that at least next life I get and connected
Right.
with his con. So I get, for last time I was telling that I got ill and I can't sew. So they said, because that day because I wasn't able to go to the temple, and it was so nectarian. I never think that on Janmashtami day I can read. So when I was sharing with one devotee, and he said, might Krishna wanted you to read and dive in rather than just running around for service this time. So that's the reason you fall ill and you got to read Canto 10 on Janmashtami day, and you got, so it's so true. It's so true. Sometimes we are running around and all scriptures sitting at home, and we just like say hello to them rather than, yeah, because myself, if I don't have time, I just like put on my head and chest and just put it back. So Namrata, I'm really, please pray for me so I can dive in on scripture and spend some more time for that rather than just running around. Yeah, so thank you so much. I think all of your association might help me a lot. Okay,
your
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I
association
won't take a long time.
No, this is wonderful. And thank you. Because of your association, we are getting to learn so much about Krishna's mercy, because I remember you feeling very much tearful and sad that you were sick, you're not able to go to temple and do service. But see how Krishna turned that around and said, I want you to
Yeah,
read. That is why, as that
yeah,
Prabhu said, I want you to dive into this
yeah,
next year and not feel bad
yeah,
about this, that, and the other. I wanted you to have a different experience because Krishna consciousness is
yeah,
done. So thank you for
yeah.
sharing.
And by his mercy, I was able to do service Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I think he arranged everything perfectly, but I won't see that way, that point. So he let me read on Janmashtami day, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he made me well. So I did so to the temple for 3 days continuous. So, but sometimes we don't understand what is his plan is, and we just like nervous, or I think start to blaming, or God knows. Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
That is so inspiring and so wonderful to hear. Thank you so much. Alka
Hare
Mataji, what's your initiated name? I don't know your initiated name.
Achyuta Gaurangi Devidasi.
Achyuta
But
Gaurangi Vidas.
yeah,
Okay.
because I have
Thank
tried
you.
to go to because I have to go to Zoom and change my name, but I don't know how to do it. So I might ask my children to do that. So it comes, but all the time I change there, and again next time it doesn't
I
come up.
see. I see. Oh, okay.
So
So,
I have to go for original setting, and then it might happen. Yeah.
okay. Achyuta Gaurangi. I'll try to remember. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Achyuta Gaurangi. Thank
Hare
you for
Krishna.
sharing. Balaji Prabhu has offered obeisances and says that I am nowhere in devotional knowledge and trying to learn from all of you. And Prabhu, we are also nowhere in devotional knowledge and we are trying to learn from you. So please feel free to share your experiences, your understanding, your takeaways, whatever you have read or whatever you have experienced. It's always good to hear from devotees. So don't feel shy. And don't feel that just because you have newly joined the group that you're nowhere, etc. We are all nowhere. We are just trying to hang on by Prabhupada's mercy, Guru Maharaj's mercy. We are all neophytes. We are still struggling to understand the ABC of devotional life. So what do we know? So we can help each other by sharing, just for your information. So anybody else would like to say anything or contribute in any way, please feel free to do that. Yes, Revati Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing this beautiful verse. It reminded us, like, how Krishna is our original father. I like the point, as you said, like father of the father and father, like, the origin is like Krishna. And scientists always try to prove like something else, like they put their speculative knowledge and they drag it to somewhere. It's a very beautiful and detailed verse. Thank you so much. And as Namrata Mataji, Alka Mataji said, so much scriptures are available. And I feel like even for reading them very scrutinizingly, you need mercy. Because I always try to read the book and like after 20-30 minutes, I try to, my mind goes somewhere. So very nicely. And it really, even Prabhupada puppets are so, read one puppet, you get so much, purification happens and you feel so much attached to Krishna. But some days I feel I read it very nicely. And some days, like, I don't get motivation to read. So I feel like, mercy. We need to have that mercy of Krishna and Guru Maharaj to read even though we have a desire, we cannot read it very scrutinizingly. So because so much nectar is available, we need to take that as an advantage for our own purification.
Yes, very true. Actually, when Srila Prabhupada, he asked one disciple, so because he said it takes 1 month to understand one verse. Then they said, okay, 18,000 verses. So how much time will it take to read all the verses? So Prabhupada, they calculate and said, 1500 years, Srila Prabhupada said, okay, you have enough to read then. So can you imagine 1500 years to read all of Prabhupada's books properly, which means many lifetimes, obviously. Prabhupada said, you have enough to read. So
Yes.
Prabhupada has given us so much. He said, my books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. So and he said, I want my disciples to know my books like the lawyers know their law books. He wants us to become so competent, so confident, and so knowledgeable that we will be able to face up to any challenge and prove the absolute truth.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada has given us so much nectar. It's again, we need under mercy to take that nectar also.
Absolutely. We need a lot of mercy to read. First and foremost, to get the motivation to read, to sit down and read, to try and understand without our brains going here and there, to assimilate, to meditate over what we have read, then to grasp what we have read, and to remember after that, memorize what we have read, and then share it with others. So it's a very deep subject matter and requires a great endeavor on our part. You're absolutely correct. So we all need to pray for each other to go deep into Prabhupada's books so we can become very competent, very knowledgeable, and very confident to defend the philosophy.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Pray for me, okay? Don't forget.
No, we need your prayers, all.
All of us need each other's prayers. Revati Mataji, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to our Gurudev. We all need each other's mercy. There is no such thing as senior, junior, middleman, nothing like that, because we are all junior only. Who knows anything? If you go into any subject matter, you start realizing how little you know. In fact, the more you read, the more you realize that you know nothing. So I honestly don't consider myself senior or any such thing because I'm also neophyte only.
No, Mataji, thank you so much. We are learning so much from your classes. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Gurudev. Okay, so
Hare
everyone
Krishna.
wants
Thank
to
you,
go.
Mataji.
Okay,
Hare Krishna.
yes, Srimati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances always to come around Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji. It's really a good start for all of us today. Yeah, we look forward to more class options and discuss like this. Yeah, thank you. I think I'm very happy that many joined and contributed their thoughts. So yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for taking up this and doing this. So thank you.
Thank you for engaging me. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas like this. Okay, so we
Thank you.
will end the class at this
Please
point.
make a note of where we stopped today so that next time we will continue from there.
Okay, all right, will do.
Thank you,
I will
Mataji.
do it, and I will leave it in the text message on the Zoom host chat. I will do
Okay,
that.
sure.
Okay.
Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev, Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.